it? So make sure if you have any pre-printed forms in your trunk, the exclusive right yesterday is not good today. Sandy, it's still good.
Can I say something?
Sure.
And I'll apologize to everybody. I had no idea. Usually I'm in this broken loop around the city. I had zero idea. I learned it when you learned it. There's no classes, there was no advance warning. How it all came out, I have no clue. I've always tried to be there one step ahead to give you an idea of what's coming, like with the contracts and the addendums. I apologize, I had zero clue. But I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking. There's only two things that really changed. The fixtures and personal property items, they just alphabetized them. That's really one of the bigger changes, so it's easier to see where they are. And number two, they spelled out items that are for sale with the leased items, owned items, solar panels. That was really the single biggest changes. The rest of the verbiage for the mobile home is the same. If you use an old listing agreement, it's not bad, but I prefer that you use the new one because it's standard of care. But I apologize, I had no idea what was coming out. So.
Let me tell you how much it was. Is that I actually had it printed out and took it to Sandy before he knew it came out.
Yeah,
So.
zero clue.
Wow. All right, end of the quarter celebration, 50 hours from now, this Thursday. We're having like one of the best food trucks in the valley here. What's the name of the food truck?
Wandering Donkey.
Wandering Donkey at our office. This guy is supposed to be unbelievable. So 50 hours. So it's the end of the first quarter celebration at our office. And then don't forget, next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday, it's birthday Friday at our main office. All right, I'd like to introduce a couple of new agents. Is Nathan here? I didn't see him walk in. You didn't? All right. Bill Modrick.
There.
Bill, where's Bill? Bill, dude, just in time. All right, you didn't know this. Welcome. You want to tell everybody about yourself, just real quick?
My name is Bill Modrick. Moved here 2.5 years ago from Fargo, North Dakota. Background in the insurance industry. And met Dell. My wife and I were referred to Dell from two separate sources that didn't know each other. And got to know Dell real well over a 2-day sprint looking for a house. And stayed in touch with them and came on board last month.
Yeah, welcome. All right, so I got a quick story about Bill. So he's getting his license, and he hears rumors about the people up the street getting a divorce. And Bill's like, I don't really know how to work it yet, and he's not really licensed yet, and he doesn't have a business card. You know how we are, everything's going through your head, right? So the day that he's actually kind of thinking about, okay, I'm gonna hit him up, a sign goes up. And he's like, oh, like brutal. Then his last meeting is a hockey guy, and Bill sits down with him at lunch yesterday, and he just bought like a 650 house. Opened escrow yesterday. So remember, you can never get on these leads early enough, guys. Things are in the works very early on in our sector, and it's extremely competitive. All right, so welcome, Bill. Is Scott in? Is Scott here? Scott, welcome. Introduce yourself.
I'm Scott Hubertson. If you don't know Leslie McDonald, she's my mom. Been here for 3 years. But I hopped on board about a few months ago. I just graduated from ASU in the spring with a BA in design management. And now I really want to do real estate and take my new great team.
Yes, we are.
Go Devils! Jason, I didn't see Jason here. He's a big guy. Kelly Porter.
Here today.
He's not here today. All right, and then is Dave Wigman here? I think he's mostly Flagstaff. Yeah. All right. This is a crazy story. We're going to show you an example. About 45, 60 days ago, one of my clients on the buy side is in Minneapolis getting ready to wire $151,780. He called me. I was in a meeting, I saw it. He called me again, I was in a meeting, I saw it. Right when I got out of the meeting, I got out, and he goes, Del, something just doesn't seem right. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? He goes, well, I'm getting ready to wire this money. And I said, well, why are you wiring it now? We're not closing for like 3 weeks. And he goes, well, because you or Fidelity sent me an email. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. And I go, he goes, I'm at the bank right now, I'm getting ready. And I go, stop. All right. I'm at dinner about 2 weeks ago from a local guy that's in Denver, Steve Smith. He's an FBI agent, client of mine. He starts telling me about this guy in Salida, Colorado, that just got hit with $250,000 on a cyber crime. Gone. And it was the guy's total net worth. Gone. He thought he was paying cash for a house. He's in his retirement years. Gone. So I've started a policy kind of in my office where we're not wiring anything. We're doing it back to old school. So long story short, Steve Smith during this dinner engagement says, you know, I got a local guy, Brian Taylor, with the FBI is here today to tell you what to look for. So I'm going to show you this actual email. He's got it. Of how close we were, and Brian's gonna pick it apart a little bit, but he's also gonna give you some ideas, some recommendations. Guys, this is real, it's factual, and it is happening. And it's not the $10, $15 scheme. This is big stuff. So we wanted to put the clamps down. E&O insurance, there's really not any E&O insurance for cybercrime. You're gonna have the title company, you, me, everybody pointing fingers of who got hacked and how this happened. So Brian, welcome.
Thank you. As Dale said, my name is Brian Taylor. I've been with the FBI here in Phoenix for almost 21 years. It's run the gamut. When I worked with Dale's friend, we did criminal gang and street crime investigations. I've done cyber from an investigative standpoint. I've done cyber from a technical standpoint, where you hear the stories of the FBI reading your email, going out to service providers and installing hardware. That is what I did. So I have a practical background, a technical background, and now I am back into the investigative aspects of it. But what Dell said is spot on. I had this debate with Steve before. Do I scare the hell out of these people? Or do I share so that they leave here with an open mind? I will leave you with this. If nothing else, skepticism is your best friend. I know most of you are, if not agents, you work in that field, so it's almost counterintuitive to be guarded or closed. But you're doing yourself a disservice. I got an email from Dell. I knew it was coming, but I still had a seed of doubt. Dell had an associate send me an email. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know this person. I had an idea that it was from Dell, but I still scanned the PowerPoint that he sent me. I treated it as if I did not know him. If you follow those policies and procedures every time you deal with somebody, the days of you dealing with people face to face are by and large over. Dell met me out here. I had an idea who he was. In the future, make sure I show you my ID.
Oh. So this is a crazy story. So my buddy Steve sends me a text and says, hey, Brian Taylor wants to know if Greg Reader works for you out of Denver. And I confirmed yes. And Brian's bringing up a good point, because I'm kind of one of those Colorado boys, you know, gunslinger, oh yeah, hey. And good point.
Yeah, so we normally make it a habit of showing you the ID. But you're not always going to have that luxury.
We want to know what you found out about Reader.
It's classified. I've always wanted to say that. But what happened in this scenario is simply a microcosm of the problem. Cybersecurity is a vast, vast field. For me, who is soon going into retirement, it's job security for me. For those of you in the industry who are dealing with clients online, dealing with vendors online, you don't always have the luxury of verifying who people say they are. So just be aware, without being rude, but don't trust anybody. Anything you receive on the email, on email or on the internet, be skeptical. Before I get into the specifics of this case, attachments and links in email are going to be the death of everybody here. Whether you've been affected personally, from a business perspective, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. sure all of you receive spam. You know, not everybody needs Viagra, not everybody needs breast enhancements. But I guarantee you, if you go to your email, you have those emails. Well, you didn't sign up for it, so we got it from somewhere. So just keep that in mind. Most of the ways computers are compromised, it's through attachments and links. You go to a website, somebody says, hey, I'm interested in this property, can you click this link and send me some forms? The trusting person says, sure, I'm interested in the business proposal, the business opportunity, I'm gonna click on it because this might be a sale. You don't know where that link is going.
Yeah.
Somebody says, hey, I have these forms for you. And the downside of this is, you guys have an online presence that is huge. All I need to do is go to somebody's Facebook page, your business page, your personal page, and says, hey, they're holding a conference. I'm gonna pretend to be a vendor, say, hey, I'm a vendor, look at my prospectus. I'm gonna send it to you as an attachment. We don't have any reason to be skeptical, but as a cyber criminal, that's what I want you to do, is to click on that link. You don't know what's gonna download when you click that link, and now I'm potentially in your network. So, don't be scared, don't be paranoid, but be overly cautious of what you do online. So now, if we want to get onto the matter at hand.
So Keith, do you want to pull up, so Corinne, and if you can chime in. So this was a real transaction that we had going on. David, this is the gentleman from Minnesota, an out-of-state buyer. So we were you know, jockeying back and forth constantly on email, and somebody in the chain of events got hacked. So, you know, please inform Sharon to wire additional down payment of $115,000 today to facilitate a smooth closing process. Mary will email the wire. Mary's the escrow officer. Mary will email you the wiring instructions that have signed a closing associate for this property's closing. So that was the email, and then so. Brian, what do you see initially? Do you have the email address up there, Keith? Because Steve was telling me never open up an email that is not encrypted.
Encryption is your friend. It might slow business down, it might slow down what you do. For example, if you ever need to go to a website or type in an email address, do it manually. You don't know what that connects to. You don't know if that's a valid email address. All you know is that that's what the person's providing you. Again, we're not dealing in faith anymore. You need to be skeptical. If you did actually have a business relationship with Jim Gullickson, call and verify.
Yeah.
Is this your email address? What we see a lot is the bad guys, and the problem with this is you don't know where the compromise occurred. I don't know if Gullickson is legitimate or if he's a criminal. I don't know if his email has been compromised and the bad guys are creating this. But what you see a lot is the email address is fabricated. Gullickson at mnsu.edu is a specific email address. There are no two like it in this domain. At a glance, you don't necessarily know if one of these L's is a 1. It makes all the difference in the world, because now you are dealing with a completely different email address, and you don't know who's there to receive the information. So don't click on that link if you were to respond to this email. Type it in manually.
Can I say something?
Sure.
So this email, Jim was our client. He was the one going to the bank to send the wire, and the email originated from Dell. So it looked like Dell sent our buyer wiring instructions. The government is famous for putting terms and cliches on things. The business email compromise is nothing more than wire fraud. They're using email to conduct the fraud, but it's fraud. They're using email to do it. There's nothing that says I can't go online in relatively short order, find out Dell's email address. There's nothing to keep me from my office, wherever it may be, Africa, Europe, Asia, to create an email that says it's coming from Dell.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I kind of learned a long time ago that when you